أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I want to say that it's a pleasure being here, and we need to definitely have more symposiums such as this one. And just to reflect on my experience within CIW prison. So I started volunteering at that particular prison maybe about 5 years ago, I believe. So it was a sister in the community. She was transitioning out of that particular position. And at first she came to me, and she just talked about her transition. And, I mentioned that I wanted to perhaps go into this type of work. And she said, but I'm at a woman's prison. So she said, you may not want to even go into the women's prison. So I took her word on it, So another time we saw each other again, and she had mentioned it again. She said, well, come down and visit, you'll be okay. Because immediately, you're thinking, a man chaplain within a woman's facility, all kind of things run into your imagination, So alhamdulillah, I had to go there and see what was going on first. So alhamdulillah, we went there, and she introduced me to some of the women in the community. And alhamdulillah, the feedback was great. We were comfortable around each other. There were some older sisters, and these older sisters, alhamdulillah, they've been my protection in there from day one, So, and I'll give you an example. It's not easy, being a male chaplain within a woman's facility. But this is my protection. We have, older sisters, they're like my aunties. And if something, use your imagination, was to occur, they stop it immediately. If someone was to be out of line or inappropriate, they make sure they stop it immediately. And so I've had this protection within that particular facility. So I later came on as an employee, so maybe about 3 years ago. And alhamdulillah, I would honestly say that it has changed my life. It has changed my life. And it's been very transformative for myself as far as becoming a better father, becoming a better husband. I've learned a lot from being around these sisters within the prison. They've taught me, I've perhaps benefited more than they've benefited from me. So, and they may not, realize that, but I go in, I get a lesson from them. They get a small lesson from me, but I get perhaps a bigger lesson from them. And when you hear stories of women who have been abused by their fathers, there's sisters who have been molested, they've been abandoned by men in their lives. I don't want my daughter to be in that situation. I don't want my wife to be in that situation. I don't want women in the community to be in that particular situation. So it's been transformative from that standpoint. But also I've seen the weaknesses that we have as a Muslim community. And this is criticism for us. We're evolving. We're going to get better as a Muslim community. And we're going to really evolve and better these systems set up to support the inmates when they're in there and when they are released. Because they are human beings. They're human beings. I get advice from these sisters in the community. Sometimes I go to them with my problems. I'm supposed to be the one they come to, and they release their problems. But no, I go to them many times with my problems, and I get advice from them. So they're human beings. They've had, many of them, they have great experiences in life where they can give us a lot of feedback on our situations. And one of my sayings is that perhaps, we all do wrong. Some of us have gotten caught. That's the reality. The ones who have gotten caught, they're in the prison. And the rest of us are here today. So alhamdulillah, the weakness, just I want to speak on a few things, is that they're underserved. So statistically, the Muslim community within the facility is the fastest growing community, but they're the most underserved. So when I go into work, you see in the lobby area, you see these volunteers lined up and they're organized. They have their t-shirts and everything ready to go in and serve. None of them are getting paid. They go in as volunteers. They have this support base. And it's very difficult a lot of times getting Muslims to volunteer, as you know, but it's getting better. I'm noticing it's getting better. They need that support. I mean, the look on their faces when you go in to visit them and they want to serve you. If you come to one of our Eid celebrations, they're serving the guests. They're going, you know, they're getting the food ready, you know, and everything else. They are serving the guests, and it's transformative. You go in there with a mood that day, you go in there mad at or complaining about something, and that disappears because you're seeing individuals who are restricted in their lifestyle, but they're not complaining. They have a smile on their face, and they're saying, La ilaha illallah. And this is, you know, transformative. And we need more individuals like yourselves to come in the prison. We use our imagination too much. We've watched too much TV. Honestly, we've watched too much TV. When you go into these facilities, when you go into these institutions, these are human beings. And guess what? The individuals that we're serving, they may be better than us. You know, the sisters, all of them, they might be better than me. We have to look at that possibility. So let us increase our volunteerism. We have to increase our volunteerism. We have to develop a system. My hours going into the prison, I never forget, I got hired and I'm excited. Got a good job. I transitioned from another job, excited. The guy came to me, he said, congratulations, you got the job. You have 25 hours a month. I said, the job, is that a job? 25 hours a month. So this means that it's definitely not that support base that's needed, because they would not give a chaplain 25 hours a month if they know that behind that chaplain there's a team. They would immediately come to that chaplain and say, this is full time, in which legally that position should be a full-time position. And, you know, alhamdulillah, I'm grateful for the time that I've spent as far as being a chaplain in the facility. But we need to support the chaplains. I went in there with no tools, no training. We need training for chaplains before they go in there. I mean, there's situations I had to come up with something on the job. If I was trained going in there, we had that support base to train the chaplains before they go in there. Then they'll be more confident in that particular position. So let us set up some training for the chaplains. Let us increase our volunteerism. And let us not forget that once the inmate, or, you know, we need to, you know, definitely, there's a lot of stigma attached to that term inmate. So once the Muslims exit that particular facility, now we need to up the care. We have to have this care, a system set up for them. The problem is that Islam becomes restricted. They end up in a situation where they only know how to be Muslim inside of the prison because they're getting classes twice a week. We were doing classes about the heart, purification of the soul. This is twice a week. And I used to let them know that you're not going to get this once you get out. There's very few, you know, even masajid. So you have to make sure that you're proactive, but they need that once they come out in order to make that smooth transition. There was a sister who came back into the facility after being in there, and we asked, what happened? She said, once I got out, I went to the masjid and no one greeted me. No one embraced me. So what did she do? She went to the streets. And what did they do? They embraced her. They gave her love. But we come into our masajid many times, and and I've talked to brothers about this, and I know it's a paranoia. The thing that we're thinking is that they came out of prison, they were sent to the masjid as a provocateur or somebody who works for the government. We immediately think, oh, they're FBI or something. Let us get rid of that. Even if they are FBI, we have to be able to serve them still. We have to be able to be kind to FBI or government workers. I mean, this is the reality. So let us get rid of that paranoia. We have to serve individuals when they come into the masajid. Also, we need to think about this transitional housing. I've signed paperwork for our Muslims coming out of the facility, and they have to go to facilities that are set up by Christians. And one of the conditions of them staying there is that they have to go to church service a couple of times a week, So what happens in that process? Many of them never make it to the masjid. There's very few and they're excited. Where's the masjid located? I'm ready. When I come out, I'm going to serve on your board. I'm going to do this and blah, blah, this. We're going to set up programs. But when they get out, guess who's there to greet them? It's not the Muslims. It's the dope man. It's the pimp. It's that bad group of friends that they used to be with. They're all there to greet them. But the Muslims aren't there. And we have to develop teams that are going to be there to greet them once they get out. Right when they get out, we greet them. And we take them to one of our facilities. Last experience is that there was a sister who came out, and alhamdulillah, we have a prison outreach speaking team. We were able to go on a couple of speaking engagements. And this particular sister, she ended up in a situation where she became pregnant, and she needed some housing. She needed support. And I feel bad. I wasn't able to give the sister the support that she needed. We don't have these systems set up. So she began staying in a facility that accommodated pregnant women. But again, she had to go to church service, twice a week. So the message is let's begin to set up these systems, whether it is supporting the Muslim brothers and sisters when they're in prison, when they get out of prison, and then also supporting the chaplains. So they'll have the tools and going in there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.